You know that weird feeling when you read a book years ago and then one day you watch the adaptation and suddenly it feels less like watching a show and more like unlocking a memory that you forgot you had. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was watching Off Campus because I have read the book. And I think this is why the show works. Not because it is trying to reinvent romance dramas, not because it's doing something outrageously different, but because it understands something most adaptations completely miss, the emotional memory of reading. Like, that is so special, and most of the shows miss it. But because I have read Off Campus before, there are so many tiny moments in the series that hit me with this strange sense of deja vu. Not in a predictable way, in a wait, this is exactly how I imagined it kind of way. And that feeling is priceless. This show, oh my god, the pacing, the way the characters look at another character, the chemistry, the dialogues, everything seems perfect. So, when an adaptation gets even the small details right, it genuinely feels magical. And Off Campus kept doing that over and over again. Like the casual banter that doesn't feel scripted, the messy emotional tension, the little personality quirks that weren't over explained because the show trusted the audience to feel them. It felt familiar in the best possible way, almost comforting. And honestly, that is rare because lately a lot of adaptations feel more focused on becoming viral than becoming emotionally accurate, but this show actually feels like it respects people who loved these characters first by reading the book, especially. And guess what? My favorite couple on the show are Dean and Allie because the chemistry, oh my god, I feel like they have carried the show for me. It felt so natural, and half of the time, it didn't even look like they're acting. It looked like two people accidentally falling into each other's orbit. And you know what? More than Garrett and Wellesley, I was like, I want to watch Dean and Allie more. I want to have more of Dean and Allie on the screen because the comfort, the chaos is a mix that is like perfect. Also, can we talk about how satisfying it is when you keep tiny book reader details? Because those details are basically tiny gifts. Like certain expressions, specific lines, the vibe of the scene you replayed in your head for like 100 times. It's hard to explain that to non readers, but when those moments appear on screen, I literally was like, wait, I know this. And suddenly you're not just watching, you're remembering. That's the best word for this adaptation. It feels remembered. And I think that's why so many book readers are connecting to it emotionally. Because good adaptations don't just recreate plots, they recreate feelings. And Off Campus understands the emotional atmosphere of the book really very well. The warmth, the chaos, the humor, the vulnerability hiding underneath all the scenes is crazy. Even the pacing feels very romance novel coded, like scenes are allowed to breathe. And I think I love that. Characters are allowed to look at each other for an extra second, and that's actually cute. Conversation actually feel real, and maybe this is controversial, but I think romance works better when it's smaller. Not everything needs to be life or death situation. Sometimes two people slowly becoming important to each other is enough, and Off Campus actually gets that. And that is why I feel so many people are going crazy. It is always very important for a show to, recreate and actually look like it is based on a novel when it is a novel adaptation, and this show has done it all right. And you know what is the best thing? It keeps the soul of the book intact. And obviously, no adaptation is going to match every single reader's imagination. That's quite impossible. But this book or this show feels personal. And to what extent it could actually make it all novel coded, it has done that. And honestly, that's what matters more than accuracy. The feeling, the vibe, the scenes, the characters, they all felt so comforting. If the emotional energy is wrong, the entire show collapses. But here, it feels right, especially during the quieter moments. The soft looks, the teasing, the almost confessions, that's where the show shines the most. Not during the dramatic big scenes, but during the tiny human moments. And maybe that is why watching the show feels nostalgic even if the show itself is new, because it reconnects with the version of you that read the book. The version of you who stayed up till 3 a.m. saying just one more chapter. The version of you who got emotionally attached to fictional hockey players for absolutely no reason. The version of you who highlighted favorite lines and imagined scenes like movies in your head. That's the feeling this adaptation taps into. And honestly, that's why I think it's worth your time. You should watch it. Not just a romance show, but it genuinely is a thoughtful adaptation of people who loved the books first. And if you've already read Off Campus, I think this series will feel weirdly emotional for you. And if you haven't read the books yet, you're probably about to understand why readers have been obsessed with these characters for years. And especially for me, it's Dean and Allie. Because wow, those two really said chemistry and meant it. And honestly, I am not recovering anytime soon. So let's get into my favorites and the show as a whole. I feel Garrett and Hannah were on point, like the chemistry, the characters, and everything was on point. But guess what? The characters, other than the main characters, outshined and overshined actually. For me, it was Dean and Allie. Their chemistry was the dopest, and I just can't take my eyes off Logan. Like, bro, इतना प्यारा character. I cannot see. I'm talking like it just got me to speaking in Hindi because that's how much I liked Logan. Logan, like I'm just obsessed. And there is like after watching the show, I completed it in one. So my mic died in between, and here I am giving a voiceover to the best shots that I got of this video. And I'm super angry, but for now, let's just keep that aside and talk about my current favorite series. First reason why you should not be missing this show as a reader, because you're getting to relive your favorite moments from the book. And as a reader, let me tell you, I'm not disappointed. Putting faces to the characters that are in my head, that were in my head for so long, is so good, and the cast does it. Like, it just is on point. Everything feels so good. I'm not telling you 100% it is like very nice and on point. Of course, it is not. We as readers imagine so much, and but what the series has to offer is also good, is what I'm trying to say. And let me tell you, this is just not overhyped. This is getting the right amount of hype that it deserves. Like, the edits that you see, the videos that you're watching online are all worth it. If one video also makes you feel like, oh my god, I should be watching the show, then you should be watching the show. It is not a waste of time. You will enjoy every bit of it. And I'm so badly waiting for season 2 because, as I mentioned earlier, my favorite couple on the show are Dean and Allie. And also, I'm waiting for Logan's story. I thought, like, in the books, like in the series of off campus in the books, first is Garrett and Hannah's book, and then it is Logan and Grace, and then it is Dean and Allie. But in the show, people loved Dean and Allie so much. Their chemistry was so good that it's just like season 2 is going to be about them. So yeah, I'm kind of really excited about season 2 and also season 3. I just am so excited. That's all for today. Hope you liked it. I, as usual, love talking about something that I love, that I actually loved. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.